All right, so we're going to be doing something a little bit different just because I was on the way to the gym. I was going to work out with some friends this morning and totally forgot about filming an intro because I was such in a rush to get out. So what I'm going to do is just film it from the house. This is after, so time traveling back here. So what I want to do with the opening scripture today is I actually want to read. I'm sure, I mean, if you've read much and you're a Christian, you've probably heard of this book. It's the Confessions by St. Augustine. There's a lot of good stuff in here. So I'm going to read one of them. We're going to talk about it. Then we're going to fast forward to the footage at the gym. So, all right. So we're going to start with reading this here. It's just book one. I mean, I haven't read much of this book. I literally started it this morning. So we're going to do with number 5 of book 1. It says, Who will grant me rest? Who will grant me to rest content in you? To whom shall I turn for the gift of your coming into my heart and filling it to the brim, so that I may forget all the wrong I have done and embrace you alone, my only source of good? Why do you mean so much to me? Help me to find words to explain. Why do I mean so much to you that you should command me to love you? And if I fail to love you, you are angry and threaten me with great sorrow, as if not to love you were not sorrow enough in and of itself. Have pity on me and help me. O Lord my God, tell me why you mean so much to me. Whisper in my heart, I am here to save you. Speak so that I may hear your words. My heart has ears ready to listen to you, Lord. Open them wide and whisper in my heart, I am here to save you. I shall hear your voice and make haste to clasp you to myself. Do not hide your face away from me, for I would gladly meet my death to see it, since not to see it would be death indeed. So, obviously, I think this is a very deep confession of his, and I think essentially what he's talking about here is that his life would be so lost without God, and he's kind of saying, like, who am I for you to grant me your presence in my life? And it's such a great sorrow and a great punishment that I were to not love you and not have you in my heart. And I think Augustine is essentially just going through this crisis where he realized there's no real fulfillment or satisfaction in his life until he met God. And he's starting to live with this conviction that where God is not in his life, or the times where he doesn't feel like God is present, it's sorrowful and it hurts. And so he's pleading to God. He's like, give me ears to hear, because we don't just hear, with our ears, we have to hear with spiritual ears. What God is communicating to us, and he's saying, whisper to my heart, like what I am to do, how I am to live, essentially, because he's lived his life up to this point thinking that there's satisfaction in education, career, whatever, right? But he's essentially humbling himself before God and telling him that what pain it is to not have God in his life, and how much God means to him, and how much really he loves God. And it's similar to some verses that are in John 4 when it talks about God being the living water, and says, whoever drinks the water I give will never thirst again. And it's essentially Augustine expressing a biblical truth that we know, which is God is the source of eternal satisfaction. And I think a lot of the time it's very easy for us to get distracted and forget that God is our ultimate satisfaction, because we are very distracted in this world, right? I mean, even with things that we're doing at the gym, it's very easy, I think, for your goals to become vain here in the gym setting. So we need to remember that nothing in this life satisfies if God is not in it. And it makes this journey that I've started, well, continuing, because I've been doing this for a while, but as far as the gym and also my spiritual journey with God, that it's really not satisfactory going to the gym and grinding and doing all this stuff if God is not involved in it with me, because ultimately I know that everything in this world is going to perish, that my body's going to perish. So I've been doing it more so as a way to worship God, because we're to worship God in everything we do, right? And it can seem very stupid to think like, oh, this workout, I'm dedicating it to God. But in reality, he doesn't want you to just dedicate your workout to him. He wants you to dedicate your entire life. And ultimately, by doing that, we're the ones that are fulfilled with that, because our life has purpose and we are created with a purpose, right? And that is to worship God. And earlier in the very first confession that's in this book, he's like, well, God, who am I to even worship you, right? And I think that's just a mercy that we're never going to understand from God, really. And I've even thought of that myself too, because I think of that, I think it's in Revelation 4 when the cherubim are surrounding the throne room of God, and the saints and the elders are all there, and they're singing, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty." And it's, this eternal song that's going on right now, right? Right now in this very moment that you're watching this video, that I'm filming this video, in the throne room of heaven, these beings in creation is worshiping God. And I always think, well, what is my worship to be anything to God, right? What am I? Who am I to worship God in a way that would please Him? So I think it's a very humbling thing, because our praise and our worship for God, it is exalting Him because He is the Creator and He is above all things, obviously, right? And He always will be. And I think that to Him, it's showing our hearts being sincere before Him, and showing and demonstrating, confessing that He is everything to us, and which He should be. But also, like Augustine is saying here, I know I've said his name like 3 different times, but like 3 different ways, but like what Augustine is saying here, I think that in our worship and what we do, we receive a lot from our worship to God. Like we receive, because God, I think, takes our time in worship to demonstrate that only in Him there is satisfaction, and only in Him is there purpose to everything that it is that we're doing, which drives more worship, right? So this confession that Augustine had here is very much rooted in that biblical truth, that we need to continually come and drink from this living water that God offers us, because at the end of the day, nothing in this world satisfies. It doesn't mean that we can't enjoy things in this life. I'm actually going to go to a card show because I love Pokemon. I'm actually going to go to a card show with my wife right now. And, I think if this is all there was to life, was doing this and, just living life, and you have a place, you pay bills, whatever, life feels very empty, right? But even the things that we consider so dumb and so silly, if we give those to God, our life is fulfilled, because everything we do is practicing what one day we're going to do in eternity, which is worship God. So I think if you struggle with this concept of worshiping God, we should really reflect and be like, well, really ask ourselves, why is it that I want to go to heaven in the first place? Because all I'm going to do in God's presence in heaven is worship Him day and night, like for eternity. You got to think everything that you do in heaven is going to be worshiping God. So I think what better practice to build a habit of what we're going to do for eternity. Now, granted, when we're in God's presence, we're probably not going to have much of a choice, but it's the thought that counts here is, what if we just practice in this life now, every single thing, however silly it may seem, with dedicating this set of squats to God, right? It's that your whole life becomes worship to Him. And in that worship to Him, you are satisfied. You are fulfilled, because you are one with God, right? And that can be doing squats, that can be at work, that can be with your family, that can be whatever it is that you like doing. That can be going and buying Pokemon cards, right? If you're doing it and you're worshiping God the entire time, thank you for providing, thank you for, giving me this hobby that I can enjoy even though it's so stupid and pointless, right? Thank you for giving me all this stuff that I don't need, God. It shows His mercy, and again, I think it helps fuel your worship and the satisfaction in your life, because outside of God, what is the gym really, right? It's just a physical exhortation of your own body and what it's capable of, and it's a sad thing if that's as far as it goes, because if there's one thing I've learned working in rehab and trying to become a physical therapist, it's that your body will break down eventually. There's only so much you can do to prevent yourself from aging. So I look at it, my personal conviction in working out is, if this is everything, then it has so much more, it leaves so much more to be desired. So that's my exhortation to you guys today. It's like, everything that you do, find a way to dedicate it to God, and ultimately find your satisfaction in God, because outside of God, there is no satisfaction. That's my belief, obviously. So if you decide you don't want to yield your life to God or continually give everything to God, then the way we were created was to worship him and to be in communion with him. And if we are not, then we're going to have this innate desire just out of human nature to fill that with other things. And you will. I mean, you look around the world now, everyone has filled it with something different, right? It could be hobbies, could be the gym, could be a partner, right? A loved one, friends, could be material things, could be a whole lot of other stuff, right? But we are innately created with a purpose, and that's ultimately to worship God and to be in communion with him, right? So we were made in his image to give back to God what belongs to God, but also live today with fulfillment because we have been given it. And if for some reason you don't feel fulfilled in Christ, I think it's a very genuine prayer that, when I first came to Christ, I would pray to God all the time. Like, honestly, I don't want to be praying, right? Is what I would say. I don't want to read the Bible. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do these things, And I feel like at that point is when my relationship with God started getting better, because God already knew I didn't want to be praying at that moment, right? So why are we going to pretend and seem so reverent and holy before God when we come to pray when he knows our hearts, right? And it's until then when we humble ourselves and we're clear, or we make clear to ourselves what God already knows, that he can start working and changing the desires of our heart. So live today fulfilled because we can be, right? I don't think many people in this world, especially with how things are going right now, can say that they're genuinely fulfilled in their life or that they have everything they need. And it's something that obviously I've struggled with, where I think we're so bombarded with social media and comparing and seeing what you don't have. But I am fulfilled in my life, and the times where I don't, it's always a conviction to turn back to God, because anything I could ever need was nailed to that cross for me 2,000 years ago. Jesus somehow knew me by name and said it was worth it. So everything I need to be fulfilled was given to me. And if you ever forget, or if you ever don't feel fulfilled, or you're struggling, because it is going to be a back and forth, it has been for my life, just remember, pray to God, be genuine, and confess the desires of your heart and how it hurts or how you enjoy certain things, and he will be that living water in your life, but you have to continually drink. I think that's what that verse is kind of implicating. It's whoever drinks this water will never thirst again. So whoever comes to God will never look for satisfaction again, because if we continually seek him, he promises to satisfy the desires of our hearts in the sense of seeking him, and he promises that we'll be fulfilled. And I think in a world that's struggling to find its identity, what bigger blessing could we have than being satisfied? So seek God while he can be found, because today he can be found. And I don't think we realize that is the biggest blessing we have. So for today, I'm going to transition out of that. We hit a diabolical leg day. Honestly, we did like 3 movements. I didn't even film the third one, which is just calf raises. Did barbell back squat. He's doing 275, and honestly, I feel great. Like, I don't feel injured or tweaked or anything at all. The weight was moving pretty good. I think if anything, I can push it a little bit more next time. So we'll see. Could just be because, I was working out with 2 of my friends, so it's like we were churning, like feeling great. So we did barbell back squat. We did hamstring curls. We did a full stack is what we worked up to. So my hamstrings and glutes were killing me, but going into that, my quads were pretty lit up from the squats. So you guys are going to see all that stuff, and this video for today is just a little bit out of order, but it was a good day. It's a great day to be alive, great day to be thankful to God that we have all that we have, and that we can move our body in the way that many people around the world can't. So yeah, that's the video for today, and let's go to that workout. Let's go. Nice. Nice. Yes, sir. Six. Let's go, let's go. 7. You got one more. Nice. All right. Oh.
How much did you hit?
7.5. Oh,
How you feeling?
bro, I'm seeing colors. Okay. 6. Didn't feel as heavy as I thought. That's 2:45. Okay. All right. Oh, 175. Thirteen. 14. Oh, we're gonna go heavier the next time.
Talking about
190 minimum. 6, 7, 8. Okay. Oh, get me out of this thing. All right. If I tear a hamstring, guys, it was worth it for the video. Drop set it. Okay.